G'day trendsetters, I've brought you back up into the engine room of the veggie garden, the compost area today, because I bought myself one of these, which is a Compost Mate, and it looks like this. It's just like a little whirly thing made out of hardened wire with a handle on top. What does it do? Well, we'll get to that, but I've got this because a subscriber asked me if I had used one, which I hadn't, and if I was going to use one, which I wasn't planning to, and if I did, would I going to do a review? And I replied saying I always thought they were a bit light and flimsy, and I never thought that they would be good enough to do the job. Then the subscriber wrote back. He'll know, or they'll know who they are, saying that they had one and worked really well. So I went and bought one. They're about $21 from Bunnings or Mitre 10, either place. Local hardware store, you can get them all over the place, I would imagine. But I used it on this bin to my left here last week, and to my surprise, it worked remarkably well. This bin was only 2/3 full. This bin is about 3/4 full, and we're going to give it a whiz in a minute, show you how it works. But a little bit more than surprised. Now in my system, I've got the 7 bins here. I'm just turning compost, but if you've got just a single bin application, then this is even better, because as you fill your bin over time, compost is stuck down the bottom, and you can wind this in and pull out the compost that's formed down the bottom and then just shake it off into a bucket. I'm going to use it mainly just for turning. This is finished compost in this bin. It's kind of just storage at the moment. I'm not far away from winter. Not much is happening in the veggie garden, but this will go to good use come spring. I will empty this. Hopefully I'll have these 3 bins full of compost, and I'll empty them pretty quickly come spring. But and it even comes with instructions. Hang on, I can't see. Insert Compost Mate and twist clockwise. I can do that. Well, one thing I worked out last week is to work out the height, which is, so by the time I hit the bottom, it's about as far down as I can screw this thing. All right. All right, look at that. And the first half isn't too bad, but the bottom half takes a bit of work. And this is where I thought it would be too flimsy. I thought the spiral would just unwind and it'd bend and all sorts of stuff. So nearly, yeah, that's it. I can feel the ground there. And this isn't easy either. It takes a fair bit of hefting, especially in a full, this is a 400 litre bin, so a full 400 litre bin takes a bit of work. In fact, I can't get it. Let's undo it a bit. Nope. That's the difference. I could do it with that bin last week. I can't do it with this bin. But we'll go back in for seconds. So I've only had this a couple of weeks. I'm still learning, as you can tell, how to use it effectively and efficiently. Bloody hell. Whew. So I'd imagine turning this bin will take a bit of work. Once you've got the main core out, maybe that makes it easier. So this would be hard, because that's been sitting there for a month or so, so it really is compacted down, which is making it difficult for me. But Now that I've gotten to the edge of it, I'll just keep working around the edge and keep lifting out, and I can turn that. And why I want to turn it, of course, is all compost will do better with a little bit of love and attention. Working air through the system. Just because this is ready doesn't mean to say I can't keep turning it. It will get more ready if you like. I've still got sticks and stuff in here. They'll continue to compost and break down over time. My workout for the day. So, you're getting the idea. So that's a Compost Mate, made by Tumbleweed, who makes the ℍ𝕃 bins as well. So for the price, I mean, even if it does stretch and bend a bit, you know, and I've got to buy one a year or something, it's not it's 50 cents a week over a year, not a big deal. Would I recommend one? Yes, I would. Now, originally, I wouldn't have. I thought they were too flimsy, but that was my only concern. Otherwise, it's doing a great job. I don't think there's much else I want to say, except it does the job. Thanks to the subscriber. He's an all-around sort of a good guy. I think he's a guy. I don't know if he's a guy or girl, because he has a non-binary name, YouTube name. But what do they call it? Compost Mate. Compost Mate. Mate. Good stuff. Works for me. Yes, I recommend it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers and bye for now. Just one other thing I'd like to mention is I put lots of vines. I've got lots of, I'm not far from the edge of the range here, and there's lots of bird life, and they're always dropping seeds. So I got lots of climbing type plants. There's moth vine, wild asparagus. Oh no, I can't think of others. But what I don't do and what I should do is just cut them up into small pieces or feed them through a mulcher. But what I do is just get the big bundle and toss it in the bin and hope over time the whole thing rots down. But if I'm going to use this, that's not going to work, because if I want to turn it, I'm actually pulling out that big clump of wiry, twiny stuff that I've dumped in there. So if you get one, best to cut your, and it's a good practice anyhow, this is just me being lazy, but it's always a good practice to cut your compost up or into as smaller pieces as possible anyhow. But then if you do have one of these, then you will be able to turn it. I've got a grass here called smother grass. Yeah, smother grass. It grows in the shade, but it has these big long runners, and you know, just sit there and chop it all up is a bit of a pain in the neck. But then if I dump it in here and I wind this through the middle of it, I'm just going to pull that big clump of sweet smother grass out. I could probably just put it in the middle of the lawn, run it over with the lawnmower a couple of times, break it up, and then dump it in, things like that. But still, I'll just have to be a little bit less lazy in the beginning, which will make my job in the end better. All right, that's it. Cheers.